You're listening to Nice-ish, a podcast about reality TV and your opinions, with your hosts, Cindy and Grace.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 25 of Nice-ish. I'm Grace, and I'm here with my co-host, my mom. Mom,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. Anything new going on with you?
I have discovered a new place to eat lunch.
Oh, yeah? Where
Yes.
is this new place?
I mean, we really like Panera, so we'd go there a lot, but honestly, it's like $35 for the two of us. And
I know, and their smoothies. I love their smoothies, but it's like adds $12 or
Yes.
$13 just to
our bill.
yeah, and it's like
So we're like, let's try to find someplace else because honestly, if we go out twice a week, that's $70.
yeah.
And it seems kind of stupid to spend that much. So the other day, you and I go into Sam's Club because we were looking at possibly getting a new TV. Is there anything wrong with mine? No.
No, it's not big enough.
Well, that's the only thing, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's a great TV. It's an LG. I like it a lot. But they have 85-inch TVs at Sam's
We
Club.
need to be seeing these Real Housewives fighting in the biggest screen that we can possible.
Well, let me say that I did not see Kiarna's scar. And if we had a bigger TV, I might have been able to see it. I'm sorry, was that tasteless?
Well, it's not more tasteless than calling her Stitches, so I think it's fine.
It was a joke.
God.
But so anyway, we're looking at TVs and you're like, can we get something to eat here? So I'm like, okay, let's try it. So they have this like pizza combo where you get a really large slice of pizza. I mean, I would consider it 2 slices anywhere else, but you get a slice of pizza and a drink. And then we each got like this frozen yogurt sundae that, oh my God, my berry sundae was very good. And then we're like, oh, they have cinnamon pretzels. Let's get a pretzel for later. We'll split it at home. All of that and 2 drinks was $9.
Yep.
I haven't stopped talking about it for like 2 weeks. I was blown away. We could go out every day for lunch and it would be less than $70.
Well, I don't think that's the moral of the story here is to go to Sam's Club every day for lunch, but I agree with you.
And I'm not a Sam's Club regular, and I realized that I would get my card out and kind of show it to the person as we walk in. And then this very last time we went, I said to you, I don't think anybody shows the person, the greeter, their card. And you're like, newbie.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not going to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I felt a little awkward, like, the new kid.
I don't. Well, I feel like they probably are just like at the door. Like, what am I checking for now? If you can't buy it, whatever you take, you're not going to be able to buy it unless you have a membership. So what am I looking for?
Yeah. So Sam's Club is my new favorite place. So we don't even go there to shop sometimes. Honestly, we don't get that much there.
No, because I mean, it's all in bulk.
Yeah.
But it's...
So I think we get muffins sometimes.
That we'll get in bulk. We'll get muffins.
You can't have enough muffins. Or dips or something. We don't get like real food.
Right.
Because who needs, 50 boxes of stuffing.
Well, it's like then you see those big cookie platters, and it's like, I think we've gotten one of those before, and it's like, oh, you're having a party. Party of 2. Like, that's about it.
I always tell you that you say yes, we're having a party. So anyway, for those who want a deal, I am not being paid for this ad. Go to Sam's Club because the food's really good. I actually enjoyed the pizza.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I think a lot of people probably, if they don't have Sam's Club, they have Costco. And I know Costco, it's like a big deal to eat there too.
Yeah.
Like their hot dogs and things like that.
Oh, okay.
So it's a known thing. We are new to this known thing.
We are new, but I'm enjoying it.
I will say, though, one of my favorite Sam's Club stories, since you mentioned about showing the card at the door and stuff like that, is when we had gone to Sam's Club like a long, long time ago. Like, I'm talking at least 10 years ago.
Okay.
We were like, it was new in our area type thing. We were going to check it out.
Okay.
We never really went, but that was at the time where like the membership card thing, like you did have to show that at the door. That used to be like the thing. And you went to get...
And you had to have a photo.
Yes, and you had to have a photo.
Mm-hmm.
And you went to get your card done, and you're like, the lady gives you the camera to take your photo, and literally, as she's giving it to you, basically, she's like, okay, done. And you're like... You're like, what? Like, how could you be done? I didn't even hold on to the camera.
Pose. I didn't any. She hands me the camera, which was very small and movable. So I'm backing up to think that I'm going to stand on like an X or something
Right.
and they'd snap my photo. And that did not happen. She literally took it while I was moving. It's like, it's so blurry that
Yeah.
it's like when you see those Bigfoot sightings and it's all blurry and you can't see the image. That's literally what it was, like a blur. You can't even tell my face. Like, I couldn't use that as ID anywhere.
It doesn't count as a
It was
form of ID.
grainy and it was blurry.
It was terrible.
And it was like, I was horrified.
Well, I think it's so funny that the lady was like, this passes enough. We're not going to do it again.
She
Like,
gave zero fucks about it. No,
care.
she probably did 100 of those a day.
I think that's why we...
And we all look the same. You used to have me show you that card when you were in a bad mood. You're like, can I just see your Sam's Club card? I think that's why we stopped going. I'm going to lose this card. We went like 4 times and never went back again.
Let's get into talking about this week's RHONY episode. We are going to mostly talk about Bryn and Aaron this week and the complete lunatics that they are. But I just wanted to mention the scene with Sai and the rest of her family spreading her mom's ashes. I thought it was a great scene. It was very sad, but it was very touching. I don't know, maybe instead of this stupid fake drama that we're getting from Bryn and Aaron, that we can move in the direction of the show going to like real personal stories or something that people can relate to. Because right now, drama is not what I want to see from these women.
Well, I normally don't like these type of scenes, but I was very touched by it as well. I teared up. I mean, when you have somebody in your immediate family that passes away, like my brother passed away, then these scenes really hit you a different way. And so seeing how rough her relationship was with her mother, but then you're still going through that loss, it was very poignant, and I was interested the whole time.
Yeah.
So I actually enjoyed it as much as you can enjoy something like that. I was glad it was there.
So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that because we're going to talk about other crap, but I didn't want to make it seem like it didn't happen. So we will get back into the most boring show in the world now.
Right. Sure.
So, starting with the scene of Jessel, Bryn, and Aaron shopping, and they're all just kind of bitching about the other women, mostly Bryn and Aaron. None, Jessel was just there. And it was specifically about Sai and Jenna. Aaron brings up the fact that Sai and Jenna had went to lunch, and Bryn thinks it's weird too. And Aaron says, I can't stand the fakeness, and she doesn't want to be friends with Jenna because of this. What?
It's so dumb.
Huh? Am I missing something here?
No, it was so dumb. I think the point of these friendships is to get closer. So when someone does stupid shit, like say, I don't like her, I hate her, and then they find out about it, and then you want to build a friendship again, you forgive them. and you move on. That's what this whole show is about. That's what the whole franchise as a whole is about. Petty drama that you work out eventually at the reunion and put it away, and then you move on to the next season. So if this stuff happened with her saying she hated her and now they're having lunch, that's a good thing. Why would you not celebrate that?
I don't know. It's all super dumb. And I actually think what Erin's mad about is not really necessarily the Sai and Jenna thing, but I think she's pissed that Jenna hasn't reached out to her once about what she's going through, I think with her mom, but that she has time for Sai, who told everyone that like she hated Jenna. So I think that's what Erin's point was. In her confessional, she said, it still is dumb.
It is still dumb.
Like, okay. I mean, literally, Jenna wouldn't be going out to lunch with Sai if it wasn't for this show. You have to film scenes together. Like, you have to film those makeup scenes.
Yeah.
You can't just constantly have fights with no resolution, then nothing goes anywhere. So it's like fake. Don't you guys know that they're literally doing what you're doing right now?
Yeah.
They're sitting there and they're filming the conversation. What is so hard to believe? They're filming everything in this time period.
You know, I started out in such a good mood when we were about to record, and just talking about the show puts me on edge and makes me, like, annoyed.
I know.
I'm pretty annoyed.
Exactly. Right. God, it is. It's annoying. This whole thing is annoying. You had tweeted out, watching RHONY. So because Jenna had one lunch with Sai, Erin can't be friends with her because it's fake. This is so fabricated and boring. And you got a response back from @isn'tDave1, who said, it's not even fabricated interesting or fun. It's just fabricated boring. They can't even get that right.
Right?
I know.
I mean, if you're going to give us fake fights, at least have it be funny, like the bath bomb shit from Salt Lake City. Exactly. And actually, that's real.
I know. Which is even better.
Are really pissed at that. But at least it could be something funny like that.
Yeah.
This is like fourth grade bullshit. I'm just...
That nobody can follow either because it's so choppy because it doesn't make sense that you're like, wait, what? Now you have a problem with Jenna? Huh?
Plus,
why?
I don't care. And that's like the kiss of death on a show when you're like, I literally don't care.
Yeah. I mean, we so didn't care that we forgot it was on last week.
I know.
Like that was bad.
I'm wondering if at some point we might have to shelf this show, but
I know, that's why I'm trying to.
We're not there yet. But prepare yourselves.
If you're wondering why I didn't show up, that, hey, you know what? It's not in your podcast. You get the one person that's going to ask, probably. Yeah.
The ship's going down, people.
It's going down. So Bryn starts doing that stupid no thing again, mocking Uba, even though she told Uba not to mock her the last episode. Okay, great. Then Bryn says that she wants a written apology from Sai about that night
was
at the
funny.
party. And they literally do a flashback.
Yeah.
Showing us that Sai did that a long time ago, that Bryn read it, and that she didn't respond.
It was literally what you asked for, a written apology.
Yeah. And she gave it to you a long time ago, and you did nothing with it. Didn't accept it, just left her on red. Yeah. So awesome. I just don't know what she's mad at. Do you know what she's mad at? Because I don't.
No, not with Sai.
Not anymore. Like, I don't.
And Sai said she hated Jenna, not Bryn. Is she mad that Sai is kind of Uba's friend?
I have no idea.
This is so annoying because I don't follow any of it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And it's causing me to lose interest immediately.
And I think what the problem is, too, is that I kind of thought that was why season 1 was choppy, is because they got rid of that one chick and it was like, oh, we're starting in the middle. That's why this doesn't make sense. Well, even having a full season, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
So now I'm like, okay, well, I can't really blame it on that because we're getting a full...
We're only 5 episodes in.
Yeah.
It's painful. Pass the Tylenol.
Right. God. So then Bryn calls Sai a miserable old troll who lives under the Brooklyn Bridge, and that Sai hates that she's a happy, nice person. Yes, Bryn, you're real nice. You're
And you seem kind of miserable. So
Yeah, I
you're
know.
neither of those things at the moment.
Right. It's funny that you're calling Cy miserable.
Is this all from the reunion? Like, her and Cy weren't good at the reunion.
Well, no, I think Bryn's pissed that she had said the, like, not today Satan thing and then got it. Like, she's still pissed about the birthday party stuff, I think.
Oh.
But Cy gave her the written apology that she wanted. So what are you, and she talked to you, in the Hamptons, wherever they were, Sag Harbor.
And you hugged and you cried.
Right. Yeah.
So is that fake?
Right.
Because
So
you
you're
said
not
you
fine.
hate fake people.
Yeah.
You said you loved her. So that's not true? Ugh, God.
Then we'll move on to Jessel's Clueless party, which, my
Aptly
God.
named.
Yes, I was just going to say. Erin is still pissed with Jenna, and she tells everyone else at the party about it but Jenna.
Of
So
course.
literally Jenna's just walking around, doesn't know what's going on, but all the other women know. Lovely.
Shitty.
Yeah. So talk about being fake. You're not going to tell the actual person what's wrong. You're going to tell everybody else.
You hate that she's fake, but you're going to walk in the door, kiss her, hug her, and act like everything's great. That is the definition of fake.
Right. So Erin's mad. We know she's mad. She's going around telling everybody. Well, Bryn tells Jenna about the conversation with Erin and Jessel and leaves out what she said about the whole thing and then just only says about it what Erin said. Again, messy, fake. It's these two. These two women in particular are the problem here, I think.
I would agree. They're both irritating and very much do exactly what they say they hate.
Yeah. Then Jenna's like, okay, well, I guess I need to talk to Erin because then even Erin's husband said something too to her. I think it was an accident. I really doubt he wanted to be involved in anything. So definitely think it was an accident. But then Jenna goes to ask Erin about it and Erin says, I'm fine.
I'm
Are you for
fine.
real?
I'm great.
Yeah. What the hell is that? You were just talking about it. And I think Raquel was kind of looking at her like, you're fine. You're great. I've been here with you for 45 minutes about you talking.
Nonstop.
Yes, about Jenna. And then she shows up and then it's like,
Fake.
yeah,
Phony.
ridiculous, which is what this show is. Phony. It just seems like Erin always starts with, I'm fine or I'm good, and then proceeds to tell you what her problem is. Like, have you noticed that?
Yeah.
She'll say that, and then she'll tell you, and then it's like, oh, so you're not fine. You just said you were, but you're not. And Jenna just seems very, like, taken aback by the whole thing that Erin had such strong feelings about this whole issue. I think it was just literally about the fact that she wants her to communicate with her and be closer. And then it actually shifts to Bryn. This conversation does as well.
Well, honestly, Jenna doesn't seem cut out for all of this.
Yeah,
Even
no.
in season 2, she seems still awkward. I think because she doesn't partake in a lot of the bullshit.
Yeah.
She does seem very removed from a lot of it. Like, she's not interested, and it's just not something she does in her everyday life. She doesn't come off like a gossiper.
I don't know why you would want a friend like Erin that's just willing to torch the relationship and say, I don't want to be friends with you,
Right?
then just talk. Like, literally, that's all you got to say to her. And that's how the conversation went. Jenna said, okay, I'll start checking in on you.
Yeah.
That's it. But
That's
instead, you
it.
told everybody.
Ugh, ugly.
So after all that crap at the party, I picked out this part specifically because it was one of the most annoying things.
We are a pair.
God.
All we do is bitch about this show.
There's nothing else to do. Oh my God, we're Bryn and Erin. All we do is bitch.
Oh. God, I don't know who. I'll be
Which one
Aaron. You can have Brit.
So the fact that Bryn decided it was okay to book a spray tan at the time of Jessel's party is beyond me. I don't even really know what to say about it. So you had gotten a response back on your original tweet about the one that said it was fabricated and boring from at Thomas S 683-76169. And
A lot of numbers there.
a lot of numbers. Who had said, also, Bryn always threatening to leave or actually leaving early in this episode is tired. You're at work. You signed up for this. Her coaching Rebecca last episode that she's not going to last long if she doesn't come back at her. Well, take your own advice and put in work.
Co-sign to both. Mm-hmm. First of all, the spray tan thing. If you don't care enough to be there, why should I care enough to watch this?
Yeah. At 9:40 at night? Who gets a spray tan at 9:40 at night? You're just doing that to be a jackass. Like, you really are. Because, and honestly, what has Jessel done to you? She was throwing digs at her in her confessionals to her party all night.
Mm-hmm.
Is this your 5th birthday party? No, it's your 41st party.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. I mean, do I think the theme was a little weird? I don't know.
Juvenile?
Yeah. I mean, sure. But there's nothing wrong with liking the movie. That's about it, you know?
Well, also, they brought up her coaching Rebecca.
Yes.
Literally I'm actually surprised Bravo left that in because it really shows that a lot of this is not real. And we know it's not scripted. Like, here's your script. These are the words you're going to say. However, we want it to be authentic. And that came off horribly.
Well, it made me start thinking about how it got leaked that Rebecca had said to, or did get leaked, actually. Rebecca said it, about how she thought she wanted to pick a fight with Jenna. Mm-hmm. Well, where do you think that came from? I bet you it's because Brynn told her that she was boring and all that stuff. So she's probably like, okay, well, I guess, do I need to do something then? Do I need to, you know?
And again, Jenna being the only authentic one there, she may not be the most interesting to me, but she's the most real.
Yeah, that's true.
And she's like, no, I'm not doing that.
Right. So this entire season is not going well. It's really coming to a halt quick.
Yeah.
But I'll mention the sneak peek for next week.
For the 10 of us that watch next week?
We're 2, so just 8. We count as 2 people.
I'm guessing around 8. There's dozens of us. Dozens.
So the sneak peek for next week is Uba drinking from this pitcher of water. I'm assuming it's water. And Jessel just kind of goes to give her a glass, like, here, you know, drink from this. And then Uba calls her a basic bitch and then just snaps at her, like, for giving her a glass. It was the weirdest thing.
There's got to be more to that, I think, because if it's literally just that, then it's super weird and I would be pissed.
Right.
But I don't know. There's got to be more to it.
Brynn then is talking to her brother on the phone, and she said that she's never really had anyone hate her before. I find that extremely hard to believe. So I'm sure somebody does, that you know. And then last we see Jessel and her husband were just talking about seeing a therapist. I'm not really sure about what. Probably you had said something about her, you know, embryos or
they're
like
in
that.
They're in a freezer or something in Beverly Hills. So maybe it's about that. I don't know why you'd need to see a therapist necessarily, but I don't know. I don't care enough to examine this.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't say, and that's as far as I care. So.
All right, we're done. Woo! Let's move on to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. The episode picks up at Angie's Mob Wives party with Lisa approaching Whitney's husband, Justin. And she's calling Whitney a liar over and over again. And Justin responds saying, my wife's not a fucking liar. And things escalated when Lisa's husband, John, steps in and puts his hand on Justin's chest. We watched a scene later where John invited Justin out for lunch to discuss it and apologized for touching Justin, but he also wanted Justin to apologize to Lisa, which Justin was like, I need to think about that.
Right.
So I pulled 2 tweets, and I'll read the first one, we'll kind of discuss it, and then we'll go into the second one.
Okay.
So I tweeted out, how does everyone feel about the exchange between Justin, Lisa, and John? Do you feel like Lisa engaged Justin first, so he had a right to respond? Was John just defending Lisa? Where does the fault lie? And we got a tweet back from @Lorna8260 who said, Lisa should have left it between her and Whitney. Justin would not have said it or done anything. John was just sticking up for Lisa, knowing full well she was at fault. I think think John knew she was at fault, because the next day we see him in their kitchen literally call her mouthy.
Yeah, I know. And Lisa was like, who, me? Yeah, you. Like, I mean, she definitely should have just left it between her and Whitney. I don't think that it was a good move at the time to be like to do that, to go up to Justin and say, basically, like, how do you live with her? How do you put up with her type deal? Like, what do you think he's gonna say? It does escalate the whole thing. It's like, they're standing right now. He's standing with your husband. Literally, they're talking. What are you doing?
So it was a mistake for her to engage him at all.
Yes.
Then we got another tweet from @RickZampagne, who said, Lisa raised the energy to that level and brought it straight to Justin. Fault number 1. Justin could have defended his wife in a much more calm manner. Fault number 2. And John Barlow should not have touched Justin 2 times. Fault number 3. But in all bold, he wrote, I put most of the blame on Lisa for kicking it off.
I like a good bullet point list here.
He explains where all the blame goes, where all the fault lies.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Lisa definitely kicked it off. I mean, that was the energy level. She came in hot. Then you're raising that. Mm-hmm. You're raising it to that. They're just the 2 of them are over there talking. They're not even part of your conversation. Right. So there is no way that he just started at that level. You brought it there. So I agree that Justin probably could have defended his wife in a calm manner. Mm-hmm. But when you start, when Lisa starts not as being calm, the immediate reaction is that you're not going to be calm.
Right.
So, I mean, I think in hindsight, yes, probably would have been better, because I don't like the men in this women's stuff anyway. So I don't really want to see it.
And these guys are friends.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Why involve them so that you ruin their friendship too?
Right.
Because once you put your hand on him, that escalates too.
Oh, yeah.
And John got really weird the second time he did it.
Yeah, I know. They were just standing there.
Yeah.
The fact that Mary, the peacekeeper of the group, got Whitney and Lisa to hold hands just says
within
everything.
5 seconds of that fight.
They were still in the middle of the fight. Is the power that she holds.
The power of the Lord. Yeah, I know. That was something. I can't believe she did it.
I know.
I would respectfully, Mary, no.
Yeah.
It is not happening. I'm not touching her hand.
I know.
But she listened to her.
She just did it.
I know.
Lisa's her bitch.
Then we move to a scene with Brittany and Heather. Heather's really frustrated with Brittany because they seem to be having the same conversation over and over about her boyfriend Jared, and that Brittany keeps repeating the same mistakes. And we get this flashback to a scene they filmed a month prior, it said, where the 2 are playing tennis and Brittany says, quote, I totally sacrificed my kids for a man, end quote. And I literally looked at you and said, so that's exactly what we thought it was.
Mm-hmm. This is why you don't talk to your kids. And you're fine with that. You're okay with that?
She clearly knows. She's aware.
Mm-hmm. So you're aware of the fact that your kids don't want to speak to you because of him, but you aren't aware of the fact that Jared doesn't really want to be with you
or commit.
That you can't wrap your head around, but you actually are aware that your kids are not interested in having a relationship with you because of this guy, and you're fine.
And you've made that choice.
Yes.
You know that he's not willing to commit. You know he's stringing you along, yet you say, you know what? I'm going to keep trying with Jared instead of my kids.
Unreal. It's just you seem like a real flake, lady. And you're talking about how, you like the relationship that your parents had and that you want that love. Guess where you could get that love from? Your kids.
Right?
You could get it from them. You don't need this guy.
This completely turned me off on her.
Yes.
Because up till now, I have actually been enjoying the train wreck. I've been laughing at it. I'm interested in seeing these 2 together and how stupid they look together. This was a bit disgusting to me. Mm-hmm. It was a huge turnoff.
It was. Yeah, it was gross. And this is the first time that I've agreed with Heather all season because Heather's been pissing me off too.
Yeah.
So the fact that, Brittany, you got me to agree with Heather means that you are,
Heather nailed it, though.
She did. Yes.
She's like, we're doing this over and over and over again. What aren't you seeing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm tired. Okay, so let's talk about the most interesting part of the episode, which was Bronwyn inviting Heather over to talk about their relationship. And Bronwyn is hosting a trip to Palm Springs, which also includes the husbands, which would be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't normally like that, but if we only see them sparingly, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
She's not super comfortable with where her relationship with Heather sits. So she invites Heather over to clear the air. And I gotta say, it feels like Heather is going into this with this really stanky ass attitude from the get-go.
I know. What the hell is your problem, lady? I can't figure it out. I don't know why. I hate saying the word jealous because that's not usually how I feel about these women. About, like, I always think that's such a lame excuse.
Right.
But I don't know if that's what it is. I don't really know what her issue specifically is with her. It cannot just be the fact that you were all in the car talking shit and she made some jokes.
What would you think she would be jealous of? Explore that a little bit.
I don't know. I just said it and I have nothing to back
because
it up
I'm like,
with.
That she's married, that she's
I have no idea.
Smart, that she...
Nope, no idea.
Nope.
I said it. I wanted to see if it stuck. It didn't. So now I'm going to take it back. Because I can't think of a reason why.
It's not true. I just didn't know.
No, I just have nothing to back it up. And since I don't, I will just say that I don't. That's fine.
Okay.
I was processing my feelings by talking it out.
Okay.
And that's where I got, and I hit a dead end. And then I'm taking it back because I don't know.
That's healthy. That's fine. So Bronwyn acknowledges that she was being messy with Heather and Angie's relationship, but she says it's because she felt Heather did it to her first. And she apologizes. She actually says, if you feel like I'm being messy, I apologize. Heather won't accept that. I don't like your wording. What do you mean if I feel like you're being messy? And so Bronwyn's like, okay, you don't like the way I'm delivering this apology. I will take it back and I will say I was being messy and I apologize. And Heather still wouldn't accept it.
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I don't understand Heather. What is your problem? This woman has apologized to you in like 7 different ways and you won't accept any of the 7. So what do you want from her?
Right.
Like, you are going to be outed from the trip if you don't just, shut up and listen to her.
And the funny thing is, Bronwyn is sitting there thinking she's going to get an apology in return, which never comes.
Yeah, I know. Because I think she's like to Heather, did you think that it was literally just going to be me apologizing to you and you were going to get to leave and not give me one?
And did you think I was the sole reason why this friendship hasn't flourished?
God, she's just the worst
she's
right now.
She's insufferable.
I don't understand what happened to her.
I don't
really
either.
don't.
I remember season 1 thinking, this girl could be my best friend.
Yeah.
I liked her a lot. I go up and down with her, but this season, the messiness, I'm just not feeling.
Because it's so hypocritical.
Yes, that's it.
I think that's the problem, is that are you really, really not seeing that you are doing the same exact thing that Bronwyn did? You just did it first.
Well, that leads into my tweet, which was, does Heather really not recognize that she's the messiest one on this cast? And we got a reply from @CreekTalkPod who said, I love Bronwyn. She owns her shit. Heather acting like she's not messy when she's the queen of messy this entire season is laughable. Heather is so threatened by Bronwyn, And it's sad because Heather used to be top tier. Not anymore. She's kind of become a character of herself.
Yeah, that's entirely true. Yes, I do love Bronwyn too. I feel like since RHONY is gone and I haven't been able to like find somebody that I really like, Bronwyn in her first season, I have never felt this strongly about somebody like right off the get-go.
Yeah.
I think she's fantastic. And I didn't know how we were going to get past Monica not being here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God.
I know.
Like, Monica who? No offense. But, like, I am totally fine. Yeah, I know. But,
well, could you imagine if we had both?
Ooh, I know. Heather would be in big trouble.
Oh, yeah, she would.
But, so I love her too. And I don't care if somebody is messy. I really don't care at all.
I
if you
prefer
know,
it.
Yes, I prefer it. I want you to tell everybody everything.
Right.
You know, be the bone collector. I am fine with that. It is just literally when you can't accept that that's what you are.
Yes. A trillion bullseyes, yes.
Then that's it.
And that's when I turned on Lisa Vanderpump.
Yes.
I thought she was the best villain. I loved her. She was my number one. But when she wouldn't own anything, I'm like, bitch, I can't do it anymore.
Right, then what have you done? Then you haven't done anything.
And that's where I am with Heather.
Yeah.
Heather, be messy, do all this shit, but you cannot sit back and take no responsibility for any of it. It's infuriating.
Yeah, it is. And the fact that you're actually serious, too. I actually think you believe that you know, I think you believe the crap that you're saying, that you're telling yourself that you're not.
She's sitting on this righteous throne.
Yeah. You sit on a throne of lies.
Exactly.
Do you remember what that was from?
Elf.
Yeah.
So Heather ends up leaving. No apology for
God. Yeah.
Bronwyn. And she says she doesn't even really want her as a friend. So, bye, bitch, I guess.
Right, yeah, okay.
Yeah. We'll send you a postcard from Palm Springs.
Not a Starbucks mug, though.
No. God, that was crazy, wasn't it? God, I could completely relate because, I mean, how many American Girl dolls do you have?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if we're talking about collections and stuff like that, yeah, I have like 40 of them.
Right.
So I get the collecting of stuff.
We are collectors of anything that we are remotely interested in at the moment.
The worst words you can tell me are collect them all. That is the absolute worst thing you can say, because I will collect them all. I will personally make it my mission. It doesn't matter what it is either.
Webkins.
Oh yeah,
You have over 300. Yeah, that's us. We smother things until there's no life left in them. God. So anyway, we get to the sneak peek for next week's episode with the couple's trip to Palm Springs. And it would appear that Heather, Mary, and Brittany aren't there.
yeah.
I mean, if it's a couple's trip, I get it. And, I mean, Bronwyn loves Mary, but Mary's not going to bring Robert. And we are not fans of singles going on couples trips.
I love how you're like, Mary's not going to bring Robert. Like, she's not going to bring her husband. So, you know.
Well, I mean, do we even know where he is?
I know. No, we don't. That's just what's funny about it, though, is that, like, well, she's not going to bring him.
Where's Robert?
We don't know. We have no idea.
So, and Brittany's not with Jared, and she didn't even like Brittany anyway. And then Heather axed herself from the trip. So, you know, toodles, bitch. So they're not going to be there, but it actually doesn't look like it affects the overall drama level anyway.
No, doesn't seem to.
We see an issue with Meredith and Sean being Angie's husband. Something about Sean saying something about their son Brooks.
Yeah. I don't know what, or if he liked to post or something, but Seth has it on his phone and ready to go, and then says, what does he say? Booyah, bitch? Like, he is so corny and cheesy, and it's just like, oh, God, you're so weird, dude. Just, like, can it?
Yeah, that was weird. And then we have an issue with Lisa and Bronwyn, which looks like it actually sparks Bronwyn to ask Lisa and John to leave entirely. Yikes. Like, leave the trip.
Yeah.
So, next week looks good.
Yeah.
let's move on to Real Housewives of Orange County, and the season finale episode was this week.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
I thought it was really good as well. We're going to start with Jen's engagement party. So Jen gets engaged to her boyfriend, Ryan, and Alexis is throwing the engagement party.
That threw me off there. I don't know why she was the one to do it. It's not like they're particularly close. As a matter of fact, I think the last time she saw Jen, she was saying goodbye to her and throwing her out of her house. So I don't know why Alexis was the one to do it, but okay.
I'm guessing that production picked that because Alexis wasn't allowed to go to London.
Yeah.
So, well, Jen probably would have invited her to the party, but I don't know. I guess this way she's involved a little bit more, and they have a chance to bring John. So the theme of the party was tacky bridesmaids dresses. Were you a fan of this?
I actually liked this idea a lot. I thought it was really funny. It had the potential, if everybody decided to actually dress in a tacky bridesmaid dress. Some people kind of didn't hit on the top.
One person didn't do it.
Yeah.
The host.
Alexis. Which isn't that really the tackiest thing of all to do, is to literally tell everybody to dress horribly and then you come and you look fantastic?
I will say there were a couple dresses that stood out to me. I thought Heather's was funny because she wore these really tacky gloves. Mm-hmm. I thought Katie's was really funny with those ruffles. It was like a lot.
And her blue eyeshadow.
Yes. But whose I liked the most was Emily's.
It was so well thought out, I think, is why it was so funny. Mm-hmm. I mean, the fact that obviously everybody knows you're not supposed to wear white.
Right.
So to wear white and to wear your actual wedding dress that you got married in is so funny to me.
It really was. Like, you want to outshine the bride.
Yes.
So I'm going to wear a dress that's just, equally as stunning.
Right. It's very much like The Office, like Kelly, how she's like, you said I could pick any color I wanted, so I picked white.
Yes. So at the party, Bravo acknowledges one of the guests on the screen by putting his name up there. And it's Ryan's business partner that was under investigation by the FBI, Matthew Bauer. And he apparently thought it was in good taste to make a joke about Ryan being his money launderer.
Oh my God. And Jen was pissed when we saw her on Watch What Happens Live. Andy asked her about it and she was like, yeah.
That's his sense of humor, she said.
Right, but you could tell that which was such a cop-out to say that. Just be like, yeah, I was pissed about it, I just mean like...
Well, Andy seemed disgusted by it, I'm going to be honest. He's like, cringy, probably not the best idea.
Right. I love that when they had to try to defend Ryan, too, at the very end, like the producers, by adding in Jen's clip where it says that... Ryan was never accused or charged with anything, but received immunity. And it's like, oh, awesome. Yay. So, that clears something up for people. Well, I don't know.
To clear it up for people, I'm going to kind of refresh everybody's memory of what exactly he was involved in. Mm-hmm. So, there's 4 main people in this scenario. There's Shohei Ohtani, who plays for the LA Dodgers.
The World Series champs 2024.
Woo, woo. And he had an interpreter at the time whose last name was Mizuhara. And then Ryan and Ryan's business partner, Matthew. So I'm going to read an article quickly from ESPN that explains it all. So Mizuhara was accused of stealing $16 million from superstar Shohei Ohtani to feed his described gambling addiction. It was first reported by ESPN and later detailed in the criminal complaint against Mizuhara that Matthew Bauer, the illegal bookmaker under investigation, told the interpreter that he could pay his gambling debts if he wired money into the account of Bauer's associate known in the complaint as associate number 1. That associate is Ryan. Mm-hmm. So Ryan used an account with Bauer for their real estate projects, according to sources, and they have been close friends and business associates for nearly 20 years. So Ryan's criminal attorney told ESPN that Ryan was working with federal authorities, and because there's an active investigation, he can't confirm or deny what's going on, but that he wasn't a bookmaker or a sub-bookie. But multiple sources say that Ryan received immunity in return for his testimony. It's not hard to put the pieces together.
Well, no, and I think it's funny that he's like, I'm not going to rat out my friends. You literally just did. You just said that you're my money launderer.
I know.
Like, boom, right on camera.
That was crazy.
Yeah, you're lucky that you have immunity.
He even talked to Terry Dubrow. Terry was talking to him at it and said something like, "Oh, you're that guy?"
That's so Terry to do
I
that,
know,
isn't
right?
it?
And he's like, "Yeah, that's me." And he's like, "Are you going to go to jail?" And he's like, "I might." And we see at the end of the episode, they actually said he could possibly get 18 years in prison.
Yikes.
Yeah. So they haven't had the arraignment yet. It's scheduled next May.
Okay, I'll be there.
I'll be there. We will be reporting back May 14th. So anyway, that's why when everybody keeps saying he wasn't charged with anything, no, he wasn't. It was in exchange for his testimony.
Mm-hmm.
Under oath, he had to testify.
Right.
And he mentioned that on Watch What Happens Live, too. He said he had 2 talks with people.
Wait, really? He said that? Did I not catch that?
Yeah. When Andy was talking to him, he said, I talked to people twice about it. People were FBI agents, you know?
Yeah.
So, look, we can slap the word alleged on there. Ryan was not charged with anything.
Right.
But there's a reason why.
Yes.
He knew stuff, and he gave his testimony in order to not go to prison.
Right, to get the big fish.
Right.
He's not the big fish that they were looking for.
No, he's a guppy.
He's a guppy.
So anyway, let's talk about the party some more.
Okay.
Emily is hammered.
Oh, yeah.
She's trying to climb walls. She's kind of falling over.
Mm-hmm.
She was really funny, I thought.
Yeah.
So Jen was supposed to meet with Tamra for a one-on-one before the party and declined. She didn't want to do it. So she clearly sent her a text saying, I'm not doing it. And what Emily thought would happen is what did happen, which is that Tamra went up to her and approached her at the party.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know why you would think that that wouldn't happen. If you didn't talk to her now, she's going to come up to you at the party. They need that for the end scene. If you weren't going to speak with her, you're going to have to do it now because literally they are they're
Yes, this is the last day of filming.
Yeah.
So they need to know what's going to happen. So Tamra wanted to show Jen text messages with Shannon and she just wasn't interested. Jen didn't care. She said Shannon could be all over those messages, but the difference between Shannon and Tamra is that she believes that Shannon is truly sorry, whereas Tamra just does it over and over again. Does she have a point?
I mean, I guess she has a little bit of a point. I would like to know, though, if Tamra told me that Shannon was all over him, then yeah, I want to see what was going on and then let Shannon apologize to me, though. Because
okay, that's fair.
I would want to be like, okay, well, I want to know what's going on. I still think you're shit, and that's fine. But I want to know if who I think is really my friend is just as bad as you, or if she does apologize. And if she does, then, you know, we see what happens. But I don't know.
I think Jen's just over it. She's been through this with Tamra over and over again, and it seems like she's building a relationship, a friendship with Shannon.
Right.
So she's just like, I'm just not interested.
I mean, yeah.
And she doesn't
know.
have to be.
Yeah, she doesn't have to be, I guess. I just don't see how you can be mad at one person and not the other, personally.
I think it would just set her back again.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think she wants to go there. I would want to know as well.
Yeah.
But if I'm trying to build a friendship and this person is saying sorry, then, you know, I either move on or I don't. So speaking of Shannon, there is this really bizarre interaction
Oh my God, it's
with
weird.
Shannon and Katie's husband, Matt. Shannon approaches him while he's standing alone in a hallway or something.
Yeah,
and
he's standing alone because if the FBI comes, he wants to be able to run out the door in case they come for...
Well, Katie said that later.
Yeah.
In a pickup scene at the end. She's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, my husband saw him. And he's like, oh my God, what are we doing here? So anyway, she approaches him and told him that the old Shannon would just kind of walk away from these women when she was in a fight, but then she'd always go back. But the new Shannon walks away and leaves. And Matt says, then maybe it's time to walk away because I care about you and you've been kind to me.
Very nice, right?
That set her off.
God, what the hell?
So Shannon replies with, that angers me that you said that. You don't know me at all. I'm the strongest one here. Matt says, then why are you here with me?
That was so quick, dude, wasn't it?
And Shannon says, are you trying to argue with me right now? I didn't even know what to think.
I think we probably thought what Matt thought in the moment, which was, huh? What? What? You came to talk to me.
And I told you I thought you were kind. What
Yeah,
are you talking about?
And that I care about you. Well, you know what? Now I don't give a shit about you, lady. Get the hell out of here.
Well, also, I think you can take what Matt said two different ways, but I feel like both of them were constructive, which was either leave the women and be done with the conversation and revisit it at another time, or leave the show completely and keep your mental health intact. But both aren't offensive, yet Shannon manages to be offended at both.
Chick is weird. I'm sorry. She completely snapped in that moment. It's like you're not listening to him. Do you want everything to be like an attack on you if you're not listening to the person?
Well, I tweeted out, wait, was that Katie's husband Shannon was arguing with? What happened? I'm lost. And we got a tweet from @JoeyPick who said, Shannon went up to him and he tried to give her good advice as a friend and she snapped like a psycho.
God, no kidding.
She really did.
Like, and I can't figure out how she got there. I can't process what he said in a negative way at all. Like, I was trying to think about how is Shannon taking this, and I don't know. I literally can't go from like A to B here. I don't know how she got there.
I don't know why she thought he was trying to argue with her. And then even after that, she's like, are you kidding me right now? And then went up to Katie and she's like, your husband was awful to me.
Yeah, I know. She's so freaking dramatic, isn't she? Everything is a big deal. Everything is against her. Everything is that, like, I don't understand. And it's so funny that she said that, are you trying to argue with me? You're trying to argue with him.
Right. I saw a tweet from somebody who said, is this what happened with Joel Kim Booster?
Oh, God, I bet.
And they thought maybe there was way more to this story. And I just thought, Camille Grammer, and now we said it. Because I don't know. It seems like she gets triggered very easily.
Well, yeah, and even Giselle, who did an interview, I saw it. I was watching it with you, and she said something. The incident happened. She referred to it as one,
and said she remembered it.
Yeah, so it happened. If you're wondering if anything happened, it did from somebody who was there.
I know a lot of people felt like he shouldn't have commented publicly. Put that completely aside, whether he should or he shouldn't. Something major happened that he took extreme offense to.
Right.
And we just saw something very minor in what Matt said. He literally said, you've been kind to me.
And I care.
And I care. So I'm thinking of you. Maybe you should consider walking away.
Yeah.
It was just a piece of advice. And she flipped out.
Dude was just minding his own business in his own corner of the house and wanted to just, be left alone. And then she waltzes in, starts an argument. He's probably like, oh my God, this is what I
He's like, I'm just here to watch my wife film and go home.
Right. Literally, that's it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
So, the party should have been the conclusion to the season, but filming picked up 3 weeks later when news broke that Ryan was accused of laundering money through casinos in Vegas. So we see Emily, Tamra, Heather, and Alexis meet up to talk about it for a while. Tamra puts on this FBI hat. She can't help herself.
No, she really can't.
And Jen films with Katie and Gina. And we know what Tamra and the women think, but what are your thoughts watching Jen talk to Katie and Gina? Because I had tweeted, you can love Jen, but side-eye Ryan.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm with Gina. I think that she should not be marrying him. It's really not a good idea. You want to stay together with him? Fine, I don't get it, but whatever. Then just don't marry him. Don't legally be attached to him. At least not right now. You need to know more before you decide to make this big decision. And he cheated on her. That's one of the big ones too. We know that he did.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not great either.
He keeps saying they were on a break. However, you're on a break for a week and you can't keep your dick in your pants?
I know. God.
Like, seriously?
Yeah.
And she was so hurt by that. I know she tried to play it off that she wasn't. That's really the season she got attacked.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really like her. I do. I get that people feel like she needs to get her finances in order and all this stuff. And maybe that's why she is engaged and wanting to marry him. Because she doesn't really have any finances.
Yeah.
So we saw a sneak peek of the reunion, which looked very good.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch this reunion. I was at first a little bit like, ugh, I don't want it to be the Tamra and Shannon show here. And just, I wanted to see other people's issues too. And it really looks like we're going to have different opinions on different things.
Well, what stood out to me, Heather taking that shot at Katie. For those who don't remember, and we covered it a couple episodes back, there was this road rage incident with Katie where the guy looked over at her because Katie was texting on her phone while she was driving and she had her kids in the car.
Yeah.
And so this guy said his brother was killed in an incident like this where the person wasn't paying attention. They were texting. So he kind of shook his head at her and she followed the guy home and then called 911 on him.
Yikes.
He was falsely arrested, and I think he suffered some injuries too. Mm-hmm. And then the police realized that it was actually Katie who was the issue, not this guy. He sued her. She never showed up to court, so he got a default judgment over $112,000. So what does Heather do? She brings it up in the reunion and says something like, well, you have an issue with accusing people falsely.
Oh, my God. Yeah, and then everybody else was like, oh. Yeah.
And, I mean, Katie kind of started crying and said it was a hard time or something. And, you know, my whole point to that, though, is if this is a hard time for you because of your divorce or because of your custody issues or all that, that's unfortunate, but you don't drag an innocent person into your mess.
I know, right? God.
And I like Katie. I'm actually kind of feeling her on this. Mm-hmm. I like the friction with her and Heather. Mm-hmm. I thought the first part was kind of lame,
dumb,
you know, but it's going somewhere, you know? So I like this. I like that she's kind of got Heather on her toes, and I like that Heather's going after her. I'm feeling all this drama. So anyway, reunion next week. Super excited.
Put this in front of me so I can see it. Let's move on to Potomac for this week.
Okay.
This episode continues with the women outside at the table, and Giselle is still there. But we're going to move on to the next day at breakfast, which was very eventful, to say the least.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It filled a whole episode.
I know. And you know, when you have an episode like that with them just sitting at the table all together, that you have a good cast.
Yeah.
Jacqueline gets the ball rolling on this entire breakfast by replying to Wendy's comment that she wants her birthday to be zen, by saying people need to forgive and not hold grudges because it will make you bitter, nasty, and mean. Karen is literally sitting right next to her, and she's clearly talking about her.
Yes.
And Mia says when you hold grudges, it makes you a bitter old bitch. Again, referring to Karen. And Jacqueline says that she's not talking about Karen, but I mean, we all know that she's you're not even looking at her. Your body is like faced like
her back was to Karen.
So I said, like, we know that you are, you know?
Oh, everybody knew.
Because even Wendy's
ridiculous.
face was like, oh.
It was so obvious.
Yeah.
So, you know, the point of saying you weren't seems silly.
Right. Kiarna thinks that Karen was deflecting bullets last night, and can people please lay off of her today? She thought it was all really low.
Yeah.
Oh, Kiarna.
Yeah.
The rookie mistake to, you know, defend somebody else, because then it just puts the heat on you.
The target goes from there to over there.
Right. It's like, okay, we don't have to talk about Karen. We'll talk about you instead. No. If it's not on you, then let it go. Don't say anything.
Just zip it.
Yep. So Kiarna and Mia have like their little back and forth here. They're trading insults, and Mia brings up an old drug dealer boyfriend that Kiarna had, and then Kiarna mentions that Mia was a stripper, which we knew.
Yeah,
you know?
it literally goes back and forth with insults.
But then Mia mentions Kiarna's scar and says, "We know you know about the streets, stitches." And then she also says, "Snitches get stitches, glass," and points at her forehead.
I was horrified yet intrigued.
Yes. Because I actually think that she came up with that like quickly. I don't think that was a like some people you can tell like when they plan stuff, like either for a reunion or whatever in their back pocket.
Like Jesus jugs.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry, but she was waiting to use that. Tamra was waiting to use that.
Uh-huh. And so this I don't feel was that way. That let fly very quickly.
These women are quick and funny. Can I say it's funny because people were horrified? But I was just like, oh my God.
Well, that's the problem, is that when I'm like, oh, this person's too mean. Too mean? Is there too mean? I mean, like, what are we going for here? Because I don't know. Everybody has their moments. We're looking for something. I mean, I gasped, but I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I
didn't look away.
Right, I didn't. Yeah, I was very interested. I had to know how it ended. So yeah, I don't know. The too mean argument for me is like, whatever. I don't care. You're not mean to me, so it's fine.
I would agree. There are levels of meanness, and they all reach them eventually. So who's to say whoever gets there first is the worst?
And Kiarna, you saved Karen here, but then, you know, got it. This is on you.
Did Karen do anything to stick up for Kiarna?
No, she did not. And that should have been your first lesson, to be like, save no one. Like,
save yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry about anybody else.
Yes.
I'd also like to give an honorable mention to Stacy's confessional during this.
Yes.
It is so funny. She's really like flustered and isn't really sure about how to discuss like Mia being a stripper. Because she's like, oh, they're hurling insults. Like, she said this about a drug dealer, and then she called her a stripper, which, like, the lies going back. And then she's like, well, wait a minute. Mia was, right? She was. Like, and then she just doesn't really know where to go from there. She starts laughing, which is so funny.
She's coming in from the QVC world.
Oh, my God.
Where she knows how to present herself on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's completely thrown into a world that she does not understand because she looks shell-shocked all the time.
Plus, she seems like actually like a decent person.
Oh, yeah.
And that decent person will get torn apart. Like,
Well, she's
you will...
fighting to keep it up there, you know, and not going low. She's really fighting for that. And
I
we're
know.
like, Stacey, stop.
What are you doing? I love how she was like, too, like, it is her birthday. Respect. Like, that's what you got mad about? This whole entire thing is just so funny. Like, it's almost like a little kid when they get mad. You're like, oh my God, she's so cute.
I
She
know.
got mad. Like,
I know.
it just was like...
She is very cute.
Mia and Kiarna kind of finally cool down a little bit and they stop theirs. Ashley decides to ask Kiarna about her scar and if she has one. And Kiarna says that she still has one and gets very, very emotional over it. The other women kind of look like, what are you doing? Why are you asking her about it? And eventually she screams at Ashley not to mention her scar. She's offended that it's Ashley because it was Ashley's ex-friend, Cookie Monster, Deborah, whatever you prefer to call her.
Yeah.
And that hit her with the glass. So I'm assuming that Kiarna feels Ashley is being disingenuous.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but then listening to the other women and having Jazzy say, do you wear glasses, Ashley? As though, are you serious? You can't see it? Mm-hmm. And Wendy had a similar reaction. So after seeing that, I thought, okay.
Right. Because at first glance, I thought, I don't know. Because normally Ashley, when she's messy, she kind of has like an undertone that I can tell, like she's like waiting for it to all go down type deal. And I didn't necessarily feel it with this one because when Mia called her stitches, I mean, her mouth was open.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
So I think that's why I was kind of like, I don't know.
Well, this is her.
But, right. But I don't know. It probably was disingenuous. I
asked the question on Twitter and I don't actually think anybody answered that she was being genuine.
Yeah.
Every single person said she's being messy. So I thought, okay, I'm just naive.
Right, I know. And honestly, like you said, if the women all thought something of it, then I'm like, okay, I'll go with what the women think.
Well, the more I think about it, it was your friend that threw the glass at her. Mm-hmm. So you guys don't have this friendly banter or anything where maybe you could ask that question. Yeah. I do kind of see, she mentioned her skincare line to her or something. So I don't know. If I really want to reach, I can be like, no, she was being nice, but
Yeah. I mean, I think she backed off kind of quickly from it. Ashley realized that it kind of struck a nerve there. So I think, she backed off, which was good. But so after Kiarna kind of was screaming at Ashley, Wendy goes to get her. She comes back and we're kind of, everything's starting to cool down here. We're all like, okay, we're done. Let's have a good day type deal. And just when we think that the women are all going to move on, Karen raises her hand and asks if she can be a little messy and asks Jacqueline about her husband and who she's currently separated from. And Karen asks if she stood by her man when he got 25 convictions. Karen.
Don't comfort Karen.
Oh my God. Well, you know what's hilarious about this too is Kiarna literally just did you a favor and was like, I think we need to lay off Karen. I think we need to do that. You let her take
a bullet for you.
Yes.
She took a bullet for you, Karen.
And then you go in and decide that you're like, no, I'm going to mention some stuff and I'm just going to go in. So poor Kiarna. Again, lesson learned. Do not defend anyone. So yeah, Karen asks if Jacqueline stood by her man when he got 25 convictions. And apparently he worked for the police department at some point. And he was charged and fired from his position after an internal investigation. He then got a new position as a police officer as well. So I don't know what happened there. It does look like Karen did some homework the night before and decided to come and play and bring it to everybody. But I don't know. We will let the other Bravo investigators figure out what's going on here.
Yeah, it sounds like the fact that she said internal investigation, and I think she at some point said it wasn't public.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know who Karen called, who dug this up for her. She was like, wasn't Karen the one who said they come for me all the time, they just don't find me?
Yeah.
So
this interaction between Karen and Jacqueline did not go well, and I think that Jacqueline learned a lesson here as well, just like Kiarna. And Jacqueline's lesson was to not come for Karen.
well, she literally got up, walked around to the other side of the table, and sat down by Mia, which I thought was kind of weak.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Because it's like, Mia, you protected me before. I'm drowning here, and I need you to throw me a rope.
Right.
And so it just looked a little weak. Like, ugh, now you need Mia to save you again.
Right. And I mean, it just also seemed to, like, Jacqueline isn't as quick as all the other women, I don't think.
No.
So even Mia's quick. I mean, she's super quick.
Yeah, she is.
But I just don't think Jacqueline is, like, the reaction time is not quite there. So...
No, and I actually kind of wonder what Mia thinks about all of Jacqueline's confessionals, because I don't think they're overly favorable about Mia either.
No, they're not. And I mean, Mia's confessional about Jacqueline, about, like, you know, her husband at the time. I don't know if they're still there, you know, they're separated, but that wasn't that favorable either. Like, she's like, well, I guess she's loyal. Like,
right. I mean,
like,
he was awful to her.
Right.
And time again, and then she still slept with him. She said. So.
Yeah, I don't know how these two are friends. I don't know. After everyone gets up from the table, Kiarna's talking to Jazzy and Karen, and she mentions that Mia has some nerve talking about her scar and calling her stitches when she looks like she's had rocks thrown at her face.
Grace, the way I gasped. Damn. I mean, look, if you're going to call Kiarna stitches, then she's going to come back for you hard too. So all of this is just, you know, par for the course, I guess.
Oh my God, I know. Rocks thrown at her face. I mean, who was it? Was it Wendy that had mentioned about her rough skin at one point? I think it was Wendy.
I think they all have.
Probably all have, but yeah. No, I know. Yeah. I agree with you.
You cannot have a flaw or people will pounce on it.
Yes, absolutely.
Deserved? I don't know. Maybe?
Yeah, if you call her stitches, I think that's an open invitation.
I mean, that was fairly, and I was going to say scarring, but I don't mean the scar on her forehead. I meant that evening. Was emotionally scarring for her. That's why she's so close to Karen.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to make fun of that and mock that, like Wendy said, then, you know, all bets are off. They're going to go for your flaws too.
So after that insult that I died about, Mia, Jacqueline, and Ashley are talking in the bedroom, and Mia brings up all of Karen's charges for her DUI on the phone. And Stacy comes in the room. Mia shows her the 8 charges, and Stacy seems a bit unaware of things, which is shocking to me. How are you unaware of this?
I mean, I thought this was all over the news and stuff.
I know.
I mean, it clearly was, because the very first episode they were talking about it. So I don't know how she didn't know that there were 8 pending charges.
I don't know either, but I'm gonna need you to care a little bit more. You need to be up to date on this news, okay? Yeah. I am going to need a little bit more. If you are going to be in this circle, you need to know news about everybody, and you need to know the gossip about everybody.
She's distracted because she hasn't gotten laid in a year.
That could be it. So after Mia and Jacqueline show Stacy all this info, she approaches Karen and she brings it up, and Karen says that they are allegations, not convictions.
Which is true. Karen's fighting it.
Yeah.
So there was an article released recently where she was trying to get stuff thrown out because she said the police did things illegally or the wrong way, or they ask the wrong questions and all this kind of stuff. So she's clearly fighting it.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I don't know. I don't know if that's the direction you want to go when you were clearly intoxicated.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Right. And we unfortunately don't get a sneak peek for next week because it just said to be continued.
Yeah.
So I hate when they do that.
Well, Stacey mentioned that they said Karen should go to rehab.
Oh, yes. That too.
So I don't know. I can't imagine that would go well. That sit down. Karen, we're all here today for an intervention.
Right.
Like
on Wendy's birthday. We're going to start Wendy's 40th birthday by giving you an intervention.
Yeah, that's not going to... She doesn't even consider herself drinking and driving, so that's not going to fly.
Right. I mean, I don't really know what Mia and Jacqueline want her to do right at the moment. She can't talk about it, and she's certainly not going to admit
fault
right now. Yeah.
Right.
So, which is too bad, I guess, because you should take some accountability, even if you're not taking accountability for the charge itself or like what come on. You know, you did something incredibly stupid again.
Well, I'm looking forward to next week. I am really enjoying this season.
Yeah.
It's such a huge turnaround from last season, and I'm excited about it.
Me too. Oh my God. Okay. Before we end here, Mia was on Watch What Happens Live here after this episode, and Andy asked her what shows she was watching, what other housewives.
Right.
And she had said she watches Salt Lake, and then she said, I'm trying to get into New York. And she's like, trying. Like,
yes.
It's not very good.
And Andy's just like, well, keep trying. But
and she's kind of
I'm sorry, that was like complete validation that New York is shit.
Right. I mean, you have a literal housewife who's like, this is bad.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? And these women on New York would not last 10 minutes with these Potomac women.
No.
At all.
No. They'd all be in tears. Maybe we should do that.
Switch it up. Thanks for listening to episode 25 of Nice-ish. You can follow us on Instagram or Twitter at Nice-ish Podcast or at LoveCindyC. You can listen to Nice-ish wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Look for new episodes every Monday. Thank you for listening and have a nice-ish day.